Classical Music Readers, Level 2. The works of Franz Peter Schubert. Copyright 2023. C Learning. All rights reserved. Who was Franz Peter Schubert? Born near Vienna, Austria, in 1797, Franz Peter Schubert was an Austrian composer who played a role in the development of Romantic music. Schubert led a quiet life compared to many other composers and spent most of his life in Vienna. Schubert suffered poor health from the age of 25. This caused him great sadness, which can be heard in some of his music. Schubert only lived to the age of 31, but he produced a large body of work. He wrote over 1,500 works during his short life. Schubert was the son of a schoolteacher. His father taught him to play the violin at the age of 8, and, recognizing his son's talent, he found a music teacher to give him piano and organ lessons. Schubert, his father, and 2 of his brothers played together in a string quartet. Schubert was also a talented singer. In 1808, he was accepted as a student at the Staatskonvikt, a school in Vienna, because of his singing voice. While at the school, he started to compose music. When he left the Staatskonvikt, he trained to be a teacher and got a job at his father's school. During this time, he continued to write music. Schubert was especially interested in song composition. In 1814, he set a poem by the famous German writer Goethe to music. The combination of poems and music was a feature of the move towards Romantic music. Romantic music was influenced by nature, literature, poems, and art. In 1816, Schubert moved out of his parents' home. He continued to compose music. During that time, he started to attend small parties where he and his friends read poems and listened to performances of music. Schubert gave up teaching in 1818. He wanted to spend all his time creating music. He made money from writing music, but he left many pieces unfinished. Although he applied for several important jobs in the world of music, he did not get any of these jobs. In 1822, Schubert became ill, but he continued writing music. His illness got worse, and he died in 1828, just 8 months after his first ever public concert. While Schubert was alive, his music was enjoyed by a small group of people in Vienna. But more grew interested in it after he died. Felix Mendelssohn, Robert Schumann, Franz Liszt, and Johannes Brahms were among the musicians who shared his work after his death. Piano Quintet in A Major, D. 667, 1819. Piano Quintet in A Major, D. 667, is also known as the Trout Quintet. Schubert wrote this piece in 1819, but it was not published until 1829, the year after he died. A quintet is a group of 5 musicians. Usually, a quintet is a piano, 2 violins, a viola, and a cello. However, Schubert wrote this music for a piano, a violin, a viola, a cello, and a double bass. The quintet was written for Sylvester Paumgartner, a wealthy music supporter from Austria. The quintet has 5 movements. Compared to other major chamber works by Schubert, the Trout Quintet has a slower tempo. These movements contain unusually long sections of repeated material. This piece is important because of its original and new use of notes. The Trout Quintet has a unique sound among chamber music for piano and strings. This is mainly because of the piano part, which has both hands playing the same tune, but in different octaves. Gesang III, D. 839, Opus 52, Number 6, 1825. Commonly known as Ave Maria, Gesang III is one of Schubert's most popular works. Schubert wrote this work in 1825. It was part of his Opus 52, a set of 7 songs from a popular poem called The Lady of the Lake by Walter Scott. In Scott's poem, Ellen, the Lady of the Lake, has gone with her father to hide in a cave. Ellen's father is hiding because he refused to join a man named Roderick Dhu in fighting the king. Roderick Dhu follows them into the mountains where he hears Ellen asking Maria, Mary in English, the mother of Jesus Christ, for help. This song is often called Ave Maria because Ellen is singing to Mary. Fantasia in F minor, D. 940, 1828. Schubert completed this piano duet for 4 hands in the last year of his life. He began writing it in January 1828 in Vienna and finished it 2 months later. It was first performed in May of that year. The Fantasia is a work in 4 movements, to be played with no breaks. It takes about 20 minutes to perform. It is one of Schubert's most important works for more than one pianist, and one of his most well-known piano works. Schubert dedicated the Fantasia to his student, Caroline Esterhazy. Schubert's friends believed the composer was in love with the young woman, but she did not return his feelings. The Fantasia in F minor has been described as among Schubert's greatest and most original piano duets. Interestingly, although Schubert could write excellent music for the piano, he himself was not a great pianist. This did not stop him from writing unique and original music.